Hi, this is Jacqueline at Bilingual FM. Today is March 9th, 2011. So, today at the school we had a group talk, and the topic was a person I would like to meet. We also talked about our good news today. The first thing we learned was the expression or greeting, "What's new?" So, it's a very common greeting. Instead of "Hey, how are you?" or "Hey, what's up?" you can say, "Hey, what's new?" So to use it in a sentence, "Hey, what's new?" Not much, just working hard. Or, "What's new?" "Not much, what's new with you?" Or, "Hey, what's new?" "Nothing much, my birthday was over the weekend, so I went out for a nice dinner." So this is an example of what you might say if something is new. But it's very common to say, "Not much." So what's new? Not much, nothing much. Um, all right, the next word that we looked at was an adjective, and it is the word sore. So to be sore is the same as to be in pain. So in talking about our recent life or what's going on, my student was saying that he was running too much and his knee is sore. So his knee is in pain. You can say, "My muscles are very sore," or "I ran too much and now my knees are sore." After that, we looked at something a little bit more complex, and it's very important when somebody asks, "How long does it take?" Because often we use the verb to take for time. So, how long does it take? And then you say, "It takes 1 hour." So, this means how much time. In an example sentence, "How long does it take to get from your house to your office?" So, it takes an hour to get from my house to my office. Or, "How long does it take to fly to Canada from Japan?" It takes about 24 hours. So we looked at this phrase because there were some very common mistakes that I see quite often. So if we want to say it takes 1.5 hours, you can say it takes an hour and a half. So an hour and a half is 1.5 hours. Or 2.5 hours is 2.5 hours. So it's a little different than 1.5. Maybe you would say 2 hour half or something like that, but 2.5 hours. Or how long does it take? It takes 0.5 hours. It takes a half hour. So a half hour. Or something also that you could say, it takes a half an hour. So not hour half or something like that, but it takes a half hour or a half an hour. The next thing we looked at was the a mistake that was made in today's group talk was using the word "such as." So "such as" is the same as saying "for example." So, but with "for example," you can use "for example" at the end of a sentence. So I like Indian food, Italian food, Chinese food, for example. But you cannot use "such as" at the end of a sentence. You can say, "This shop sells many things, such as pants, shoes, shirts." So it needs to be used in the middle of a sentence, and then you give the examples. So I like many different types of foods, such as Indian food, Italian food, French food. So it's just used in the middle of a sentence, where "for example" can be used in the middle or at the end of a sentence. So I like many different types of food. So you would name Chinese, Korean, Indian, for example. So be sure that when you use "such as," you use it in the middle of a sentence. Um, the way that it was used by the student was more like something like etc. So at the end, so I like this, this, and this, etc. So this means and there is more. So another phrase that we can use to say and the list continues or there are more is the phrase and so on. So I have been to many countries such as China, Indonesia, Peru, Brazil, and so on. So and others. So actually, that's what we looked at in today's group talk. There are very important things. So how long does it take? It takes this much time. So an hour and a half, 2.5 hours, a half hour, as well as such as and so on, and the new adjective soar, and the common greeting what's new. So I hope that was useful for you. See you again soon.